What's up, everybody? I'm back, and it's Monday, December 8th, and man, what a fucking weekend of fights we had, man. So many good fights. UFC 323 was absolutely fire. We had the announcement of UFC 325. The main event was already announced between Lopez and Volkanovski, but they released the other fights on the card. I believe it was like 3 or 4 fights in the main card. And then we had Isaac Pitbull Cruz versus Lamont Roach. I'm going to get to all that, but first I wanted to get to the main event of UFC 323. Merab the Machine Dvalishvili versus, No Mercy, Petyr Yan, man. And I just rewatched it again. Sober eyes, going over it, and man, what a fucking fight. Oh my God. Like, it was such a close, contested fight throughout all 5 rounds. I had to go over it again, rescore the fight, take notes on the fight, and man, I know it was 49-46 on 2 judges' scorecards and 48-47 on 1, and people will sway either way. I mean, it was such a close fight. So the first round, and before when I did the breakdown, I said if Yan wants to win this fight, he needs to put Merab on the back foot. He needs to pressure Merab and make him feel uncomfortable and not let him be the one to dictate the entire fight with his pressure and his takedowns. Merab, his striking improved in the Corey Sandhagen fight, but he's not a striker, you know. And I'm not going to shit on his coach, John Wood, but he already had the game plan in the first fight when he beat Petyr Yan, and that was just out-wrestle him, just takedown after takedown after takedown and get him out of there. But this fight was different. It's the second fight. Yan made, tremendous improvements in this fight. His takedown defense was on point. There was many times in this fight where he got taken down, scrambled right back up, and then got takedowns of his own. But the first round, even before the first round, so they were saying that this was Merab's 4th title defense this year, but Merab was sparring the day of the fight. The morning of the fight, he was sparring rounds. No headgear, all that, whatever. To each his own. That's just like a prelude to what happened in the fight. So the first round, Merab does come out and he gets on the front foot. He puts Petyr Yan on the back foot and starts backing him up. Or no, Yan put Merab on the back foot right away. Starts stinging him with that jab. The jab is the one punch of the entire fight that was always in Petyr Yan's pocket. He busted up Merab the entire fight with that jab. He rarely landed a solid right hand. I think he landed 2 or 3 big right hands that really hurt Merab. But other than that, it was the jab, the stinging jab all night, all 5 rounds for Petyr Yan that had Merab busted open, right? So Merab does come out. He lands a big right hand on his own in the first round. And then the late offense, I think it was after the 2-minute mark, 1.5-minute mark, Merab really starts getting on the hips, making Petyr Yan defend the takedowns and make him defensively. And Merab was putting the pressure. The one thing that I did like that I've never seen before was as soon as Merab got to the hips and got Petyr Yan to turn to get his back, which Merab likes staying in that position from the back, where he'll knee to the back, knee to the butt, knee to the hamstrings, and then work his takedown from there, that back trip that he likes so much. Petyr Yan did an amazing job of, as soon as he got to the back, attack the hands right away, break the grip, and then when he got a good solid grip on the forearm or the wrist of Merab, he was landing elbows to the forearm of Merab. So Merab's gripping here. He's landing elbows to the forearm of Merab. I've never seen that before, and damn, I think that probably helped him a lot, because that will kill your grip and kill your ability to really close that hand into a tight fist. That was an amazing technique by Petyr Yan, but I still gave the first round to Merab, 10-9 for Merab. The second round, Merab starts with the takedown attempts early, right out of the gate. He lands a big 1-2 and shoots for the takedown and gets Petyr Yan against the fence. He tries to lift and he just can't finish. Petyr Yan had an amazing takedown defense in this fight. He used the whizzer really good, and then the offhand he used to dig for the underhook against the fence, and then he would spin to the inside of the cage and then started striking again off the break. Petyr Yan did a fantastic job, but Merab couldn't finish in the second round. Yan landed his own takedown. Merab scrambles, hits a Granby roll, ends up in he takes the back of Petyr Yan. Yan is in a turtle position, and then Yan hits another Granby roll of his own, ends up on the top, and starts putting the work on Merab right away. But Merab pressured again late in that round, the second round. I gave the second round to Merab. 10-9 Merab. So I had Merab up too, but they were so close rounds. I mean, razor thin rounds. I thought Yan could have won the first round. I gave it to Merab, but I could see somebody scoring it for the first round for Petyr Yan. The second round, razor close as well. I gave the nod to Merab, but I could see if somebody wanted to score it for Yan. So these are toss-up rounds early in the fight. I gave them both to Merab, but they could have easily went to Petyr Yan as well. The third round, Yan gets a huge takedown, hits a double, puts Merab down, and he's got Merab just leaking already. That jab, he's just sticking that jab. They get into a scramble. Merab makes space. Yan comes in for a big 1-2. Merab changes levels, gets the big scoop in that third round, carries him across the cage, puts him down, and then Petyr Yan, like a jack-in-the-box, man, just springs right back up against the fence, fights the hands again, turns, and then hits him with that big liver kick that makes Merab scream. Like, he's just like, and he holds. He can't hide it, you know. It was such a big liver kick, and then he finishes with another big right hand from Petyr Yan, and then he just keeps sticking that jab in his face. He controls the rest of the round. I gave the third round to Petyr Yan, 10-9 Petyr Yan. The fourth round, Merab tries to come out and pressure early. He tries to jump the guillotine again against Petyr Yan. Petyr Yan does a great job of peeling that far hook, because when Merab jumps the guillotine, he needs to get the left leg over to keep him engaged and keep him from spinning and hopping over. And Petyr Yan kept peeling. He peeled it off 2 times and then shook his head out, and gets out there, gets back up. He lands those side kicks to the quad, the lead quad of Merab. Petyr Yan started to land those side kicks in this round, which I think did a really good job of keeping the space and keeping Merab in his conventional stance. And then Petyr Yan lands a big right hand, and then another big body kick to the liver side by Petyr Yan, which makes Merab yell out again, you know. And then they get in an exchange. He hits an uppercut and then rips to the liver on Merab, which hurts him again, visually hurts him again, you know. And that says a lot to the judges. When they see a guy grimace and really like kind of crumble over and hold his side, like, that shows damage. And that's the number one scoring thing for the judges to see, is damage. So I gave the fourth round to Petyr Yan, 10-9 as well. So now I have it going into the fifth. It's even, 2-2. It could be 3-1. It could be 1-3. But I had it scored 2-2. Going into the fifth, Yan comes out again with those good side kicks. Yan's gas tank is looking good. You know, early on the broadcast, they're saying, Petyr Yan is looking a little worn out. But I thought it was Merab that slowed down more than Petyr Yan. Petyr Yan looked good. His gas tank looked supreme. And he kept going back to those liver kicks. Big liver kicks, man. And then he come up over the liver. He land liver kick side with the left kick. And then sting Merab with a right hand over the top. Merab tries to go for another guillotine, and Petyr Yan gets out of it and then makes him pay with another liver kick. You know, Petyr Yan did a sensational job of just keeping Merab on the back foot. Every time he'd go for an attempt, a takedown attempt, he'd fight it out, fight the hands right away, hit the wizard, make him turn, and then get back to the center of the octagon and start landing strikes again. This was such an amazing fight. Like, I can't say that enough. I mean, the technique from both guys was great. The application of the body shots by Petyr Yan, I think that's what won him the fight. When he was able to hurt Merab, because Merab never was able to hurt Petr Yan in this fight. But Petr Yan clearly hurt Merab to the body every single time, whether it was that the big left kick from out of southpaw stance or the switch kick out of conventional stance, both to the liver side by Petr Yan. Every time he landed, you saw Merab grimace in pain or yell out. And then when he started throwing those big left hooks to the liver, like Chavez used to do back in the day. And then one thing that I kind of didn't piss me off, but I was getting irritated was DC was like, he's got to be able to hide that, you just can't scream out in pain. Like, motherfucker, when Stipe Miocic was landing, hooking to that liver side, you were not hiding shit either, fat boy. So don't be clowning on Merab about not hiding the pain when you're getting kicked to the liver or getting hit to the liver when he was doing the exact same thing. He might not have yelled out, but you could see on his face every time Stipe Miocic dug to that liver side, he was visually in pain. So he needs to chill out, reel himself back in, because he was the same way. He wasn't hiding shit, and that's why he got finished by Stipe in that second fight in their trilogy. But back to this fight, I gave Petr Yan 10-9 in the fifth round. I had it scored 48-47 for Petr Yan. I know when the judges' scorecards were two judges scored at 49-46, one had it 48-47. I know Ariel Helwani and MMA Guru were saying that, how could the judge score at 48-47? Those first two rounds were very close to me, like razor-thin rounds. I gave those rounds, the first two rounds, to Merab. He had good pressure. He came on late in the first. The second round, he came out strong. He got in some grappling exchanges where he was able to beat Petr Yan to the scrambles. Petr Yan came back with a scramble as well, but I thought Merab did his best work in the second round. So I did give the first two rounds to Merab. But Petr Yan, man, what a fucking fight, man. This is the best he's ever looked. He looked better in this fight than he did in his first run as the champion at bantamweight. He came back, he took those 3 losses to quality guys, then had a 3-win fight streak, and then he won the title from Merab, the boogeyman, man. I mean, I said it myself. I thought Merab was going to run through him again like he did in the first fight. But Petr Yan, man, he proved a lot of naysayers wrong, including myself. He came out. He looked great. He never got gassed. He put the pressure. He landed big shots. That jab was the game changer. He had Merab bloody, bleeding all over the place, man. That jab had him shook since the first round. Petr Yan is the new bantamweight champion, and he deserves it, man. He fought an amazing fight. Incredible performance by Petr Yan. I don't know if they're going to run it back immediately. I think if I'm Merab, take some time off, man. He really put in a lot of work this year. 4 fights in 1 year, title fights, all 5 rounders. I think he needs to get with the UFC, the Institute, and get his weight cutting down to a better science. I know from experience, because the way that Merab cuts weight for fights is the way that I used to cut weight for fights early on in my career, before the science came out about water loading early on in the week and all that. Like, I basically would just stop drinking, stop eating. If we had a weigh-in on Friday, I'd stop eating by Tuesday, and then I wouldn't drink at all after Wednesday. And that's just not good. I mean, I know Merab said that's what works for him. I think if he reaches out to the PI, they can have him cutting weight easier. And if you do weight cuts like that 4 times in a year, it just is not good for your body. I mean, I did it 3 times 1 year, and I was just absolutely wrecked. I know it feels shitty. Like, I can tell you firsthand, that's not the best way to cut weight. And we could say, oh, that's how we used to do it back in the day. But now you have all the science available to you. You have everybody at the PI available to you. You can do it the right way, where it's safer, where you can rehydrate and be as close to 100% as possible. You're never going to be 100% going to a fight, but be as close as you can. And I think Merab needs to really utilize that, especially since he is in Vegas. I mean, why wouldn't you? I think his team needs to get around him and tell him, hey, let's take a break, let your body recover, and then let's get on this, because you have to. You just can't keep cutting weight like that. It's just not good for your body or anything. Your performance, everything will be hindered if you keep cutting weight like that. You know, boxers have done it like that for the longest time. Robert Garcia said himself that that's how they used to cut weight back in the day, and now all of his fighters in his stable cut weight the right way, and they're not having to cut a lot of crazy weight compared to the UFC fighters, the MMA guys. We cut a lot more weight than the boxers do, but there's a scientific way you can do it where you can bring your best on fight night, and I think Merab needs to address that, and he needs to address it quickly. But it was an amazing fight. Petyr Yan, I know a lot of people were saying that Merab fought a shit fight by staying on the feet too long. I agree. I don't know much about Wood. I think he had Merab falling in love with his striking a little bit more than he should after the Sandhagen fight. I mean, the blueprint was there. Wrestle him, outwork him with the pressure, but, you know, he decided to stand with Petyr Yan. I think that was a stupid mistake on his team's part and Merab, but it is what it is. Petyr Yan fight an amazing fight, and he deserves to become, once again, the bantamweight champion of the world. So that's my little rundown for the main event for 323. The whole card was stacked. I'll run over it. I'm going to do another video, and I'll run over the rest of the card, and then I'm going to address the Lamont Roach, Isaac Pitbull Cruz, and the rest of the fights that were made for UFC 325. So hit the like, hit the subscribe, hit that bell. It'll get you guys in the algorithm so you guys never miss a thing when I put new content out, and I really appreciate you. So I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace!